if you want to do something like Airbnb, I would not recommend going into a neighborhood run by an HOA and trying to figure that out later. And do not play with the HOA. They will take your home. They want to take your home. What's up, everyone, and welcome to my channel, Noble is Global. My name is Noble, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the HOA, the Homeowners Association. I'm talking about this issue because I've had some friends encounter a lot of problems with HOAs. They're finally able to purchase their first home, right? And then you have someone that, like, out of the blue is sending them notices and trying to put a lien on their house and eventually try to foreclose. I wanted to make this video to just kind of share my personal experience and maybe some things you might want to take into consideration if you're purchasing a home in an HOA run neighborhood. So the first thing I'm going to say is the Homeowners Association, and like what it's supposed to be, is a bunch of homeowners that come together and pay for amenities that the entire community uses. You know, for example, like maintenance of the garden, the landscaping, pools, community gyms, gates, things like that, you know, and they even to a certain extent want to control the aesthetic of the neighborhood so that everything looks uniform and utopian, quote unquote. They don't want any pink houses if the color scheme is like, I don't know, brown, white, and gray. Okay, so that's what the Homeowners Association is for. Now, what it ends up being, it can be some power-hungry stay-at-home moms that don't want certain people coming into the neighborhood. It can be run by really elderly folks that have nothing better to do than try to control young people that are moving in or infringing on their control. And it can be run by people that are incredibly racist, and which I kind of alluded to with with this. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is when someone is on the board of an HOA, they can do a lot. Okay, they're controlling the finances. They can actually add increases to your HOA. And so I personally don't live in a house that has an HOA for this reason, because for me, I like to have fixed expenses as much as possible. And for me, the HOA is a huge variable, and you should see it as one as well, because when you're paying these HOA fees, they can go up at any time for any reason. And if you're a hardworking person, or if you're traveling a lot and you just want to pay for your home, you could find that your HOA went from like $150 a month to $450 for special assessments, or might go under your nose for months, and then all of a sudden you're like, wait, like I was paying $150, why am I paying $450? Why am I paying $500? Why am I paying almost half of another mortgage? And eventually get into proceedings for foreclosure to collect on that money. And then they can also charge you lawyers' fees. Like the list goes on. And for you, like as a homeowner and a new homeowner at that, you're not thinking about these things. You're just like, okay, well, I pay my rent on time. I pay my HOA dues. You're not expecting it to go up and then to be having to pay lawyer fees on top of that because you might have forgotten a payment. And a lot of times they're working with the lawyers to charge exorbitant fees. They're working with special management companies, and you'd be surprised who is staffed on those management companies. They might actually have a personal relationship or a family tie that they're secretly paying through the funnel of the HOA, and that's all your money. And it's like kind of a rabbit hole, but this is actually happening to a lot more Americans than we would like to believe, and it's happened to some friends of mine as well. If you are going to buy a home that has a homeowners association, know all the bylaws up front, know if they have rental restrictions, right? They only allow like a certain percentage of the neighborhood to rent out their house, which I think is absolutely absurd because they don't want certain people to rent. We know what this is. It's discrimination, it's prejudice, and I also think that it's too much control for someone who is not paying your mortgage. So yeah, if you're gonna get into bed with the HOA, you need to know all of that stuff up front. Now, moving on to my predictions for the HOA, I actually believe that an HOA is a liability. I think that eventually it's going to be really, really hard to sell your house in a neighborhood run by a draconian HOA. And in my opinion, I think a lot of these HOAs are exorbitant anyway. I think like if you really add up the numbers, people are paying out the wazoo and they're not even getting really great amenities. Like some places don't have a pool, they don't have a gate, they don't have any sort of accountability when it comes to the finances. This is just if you want to do something like Airbnb, I would not recommend going into a neighborhood run by an HOA and trying to figure that out later. And about that, do not play with the HOA. They will take your home. They want to take your home. Okay, and they want to do it on the cheap. I know this has probably instilled a lot of fear in you, but I hope it's also giving like a good amount of caution, because I know how hard it is to purchase a home Okay, especially now in this market, it is difficult. So you need to do everything you can preemptively to protect your investment. And I don't think enough people are talking about the HOA. Like, this is a really frustrating experience. I'm really hoping that there are more laws that control and regulate the power of HOAs and really give more power to the individual homeowner instead of maybe a couple of bullies inside of a neighborhood. So you have to be very, very, very careful. But to summarize, are all HOAs bad? No, but I would venture to say like 80% of them are. And I would venture to say that we can't rely on people with unchecked power and the amount of power they have over people's homes and their individual rights as homeowners in America. So please let me know, what are your experiences with the HOA? I'm really curious to know, because I've had personal experiences through friends, through testimonies, through people that have actually lost their homes because slapped a lien on that person's condo or their home, and now, you know, they were forced to sell. This is a good conversation that we should start having as homeowners or even potential homeowners, because like it's looking very bleak. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and click the subscribe button. The notification bell will keep you updated when I have new videos, and please give this video a like. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.